Hello dear guys, this is YouTube channel Adam Fusman, and right now I have on my coach today the guy whose name is
Quinn.
Quinn is name like it means really queen, or it's like a different
It's an Irish name.
Irish name?
It's spelled with a C
No, yeah.
instead of a Q.
Yes.
So it's a very weird spelling. Yeah.
But why it's like saying same as a queen, but just the word, its letter is different. But it's kind of just came from Irish and that's it.
That's all I know. My dad was Irish, and so I got the weird Irish name with the weird Irish spelling.
All right, because sometimes I'm like, when the people asking what your name, I'm usually saying I'm Adam because it's very hard to pronounce the Ruslan name.
Yeah.
And this why I became with the name Adam because I wanted to
It's
be
westernized.
Huh?
It's Americanized.
It's American, and this is I wanted to be the first guy in our list on any jobs, because all the lists in like a dispatching systems and CRMs, they are starting from A. I mean from the first name, and this why I'm like I want to be Adam because I want to be the first guy who taking the orders or jobs from the company.
I see.
Because when I came to the United States, I was just an undocumented guy who came with tourist visa, and in March 2020, this year, after like 1.5 months, it's gonna be 9 years where I'm still undocumented guy. So thank you for coming to my room.
My pleasure.
My studio. I sent you recently the questions about what's going on in your life and how did you came to my improvised studio. Do you have family?
I do. I have a wife and 3 kids.
What the oldest?
So we have a 22-year-old who recently made me a grandpa already.
All right.
Not happy about that one.
Not happy?
Not
Why?
Too early. She's 22.
That's okay.
She should have waited until she was 30.
No. This is a kind of stereotype, right?
Yes.
But the thing is,
She wasn't ready in life.
oh, okay.
She needed to have a career.
The thing is, when the kid born, it's born with piece of bread. You've heard about it, something like that?
Piece of
Bread.
Oh, okay, yes.
So anyone, it's just like, I've heard it in Russia,
Yeah.
like a lot of time ago, but anytime when the kid comes out, it comes out with bread. I don't know why. It means like you don't have to worry about it.
I see.
You will be able.
Yeah.
I mean, you will be able anyway to provide. They are not requiring a lot of things. They are like eating small amount. They just like taking your time, but
The world will make it happen no matter what. Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're talking about today American HVAC company, and I started the conversation about the other company. I would not disclose the name, who the guy who is going to sell his company in San Jose area, and he was saying I'm 24 years as a licensed contractor in San Jose area, and I'm like, seriously? And when I asked him, what kind of CRM system do you have? He said like, nothing. I'm just taking calls, go to the customer house, do the install. And I asked him, do you have any technicians? He said, 2 guys help me sometimes. And the guy, he does have like one Yelp page with, I don't know, 300 reviews. And nextdoor.com. That is just 2 resources. He have orders. He works for himself kind of only. And he bought the house in different place, and he wanna like relocate to there.
That's the way I used to do it. I used to answer all the calls and do all the estimates, for about the first 5 years.
All right.
But then we grew really quickly, so we had to get a software system. But I understand where he's coming from. He just kept it small.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who wants just to do the simple things without overcomplication, because if we're a service company, we do a lot of work with humans, but humans are complicated all the time. They want to eat, they want to cry, they want to be happy, all the things. So tell me what the story, how did you get into the HVAC industry?
Well, I'll condense a long story into a short story, but My dad and my uncle, I've been in the construction business since I was 15. So I built houses with them.
All right.
Since I was really young. I helped build my dad's house. I helped build my uncle's house. And then my dad was like, why don't you get into a trade? You know, a specified trade where you can do something just for that trade. And he said, I'll send you to heating and air conditioning school, which at the time was Sequoia Institute in Fremont.
All right.
That was the late 1990s. And so I went into Sequoia Institute and I
How old are you?
I'm 50 now.
No. Like
at the time.
What the time? 19.
I was 18. I was like 22, 23. Went into Sequoia Institute, got my 2-year degree. I got my my license and I started learning about HVAC. Right out of Sequoia Institute, I went into the union, Local 104, sheet metal union, and then they put me into another 5-year program to learn air balance and airflow. And so then I started working for the union. So that was my first HVAC job, was working with the union. As a sheet metal worker, I installed ducts, I did a lot of commercial, I worked on rooftops. And then as I got better, I worked in clean rooms, pharmaceutical labs, certifying them for all the laboratories around the Bay Area.
And then, why did you decide to quit?
And then, 2008.
All right.
So I was in the union for about 10 to 12 years because I started in 98. Around 2008, .com, it crashed.
Yep, the mortgage bubble.
Yeah, everything. No work in the Bay Area. It was very, very little.
Even like for union as well?
Yeah, even the union. I got laid off.
All right.
There was very little work. The union, there was a bunch of people on the bench.
All right.
Is what they say on the bench, And I got laid off from air systems. It was really slow, so I started doing residential work around my neighborhood. There was a big storm that year.
So in 2008?
The big storm. It was really windy and a lot of fences blew down.
All right.
And
I all the time expecting something like that happen here.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So long story short, this storm created a bunch of work for me to help neighbors put up their fences. And I really liked helping people. I was good with talking to people. And putting up fences resulted in them asking me about heating and air conditioning. And I soon got so busy doing heating and air conditioning from just helping them with their fence that I started my own company. And I was doing the phone calls, I was under the house, I was in the attic. I had 1 or 2 helpers here and there. It grew pretty fast, but for the first 5 years, I was doing everything.
Receiving calls, go to the customer, do some work.
Yep.
Installing, repairs. So it was like in 2008, your company was created?
2010 it was created.
Okay.
So I worked off the books for about 2 years.
All right.
Just doing repairs and small installs. And then I got my license in 2010. Got a couple guys to help me, doing duct work and installation and service. And 2010 was right when Yelp got really big. There was only about maybe 5 companies that in the Bay Area, you Service Champions and Pele Heating and Air Conditioning and Valley Heating and Cooling, and there was just a handful of companies that were on Yelp. And I know for me, it got big. Just in the first 5 years, it went from 2 guys to about 10 guys. And for me, that was pretty fast. And then in the next couple of years, I think we went to about 20 guys in just 7 years or under. I'm nothing like you, because you went crazy.
Nothing crazy. Yeah.
But it really took off, and Yelp was the main reason.
Yeah. What the key factors contributed to the company grow? Just like because you have a lot of customers coming from Yelp, or?
Yelp. I got calls from Yelp, referrals. I got a lot of work in the Los Gatos, Montecito area. I grew up in the Los Gatos Mountains. I knew a lot of people, and I got a lot of self-referrals that way, which resulted in good reviews and then resulted in more customers. Yelp is, I think, the main factor, because they didn't have, the Google, I can't remember, Google certified. They didn't have that at that time.
Yeah.
And then just me going around, I used to go put flyers on people's cars in parking lots. I would just put flyers out, whatever it was. I'd walk door to door to get work.
.com bubble, it was 2000s.
The crash?
Yeah.
2008?
No. 2008 it was like a mortgage bubble.
Yes.
So you went through the first was 2000, like 99, and then 2000s, and then 2008. You've seen, so whole your life you've been in Bay Area.
Yeah.
And since born. And what do you feel about like where did it get from the Bay Area and where we right now in Bay Area? How changed it in that past 25 years?
How did the industry change, or how did American HVAC
I mean,
change?
no. Let's say the whole. I mean, let's say about San Jose area. How changed it?
Oh, I see.
Like immigrants coming, Mexican borders open. How do you feel about it?
I can say this because it was one of your questions. It used to be really easy to sell a job. I would go into the house, I'd give an estimate, and I'd tell them new ductwork, new furnace, new air conditioner. All right.
When? Right.
15, 2010, 2012, even 2015. And all right, 15,000.
All right.
All right, let's do it. And then I'd write it on a piece of paper, on a invoice, like a tag, an estimate tag. And they'd sign it right then and there. They weren't getting 3 estimates, because nowadays everybody's getting 3 to 5 estimates. They either want the lowest price, or it's just a different market. And it seemed to me that it was much easier to sell jobs back then. I don't know if that's because of more immigrants in the Bay Area. Maybe there was more money back then.
All right.
People were less frugal, but it was way easier to sell a job back then.
No, I mean like what could be changed, what do you think, in the next 10 years, by your opinion?
AI.
No, AI, it's already here.
I know, but AI in an HVAC industry, like I don't know, and I'm just thinking outside the bubble, but your service manager would just have all these screens. He would be diagnosing it there, doing everything right there. Or you would have a bunch of people in the office doing AI, and the homeowner maybe will be doing the troubleshooting. I don't know. But it would be much more streamlined. The possibilities are enormous.
Like we will not be able to eliminate the manual work anyway.
We don't want that. I don't want that, right? But
no, the thing is, I'm talking about maybe we will have the robot workers.
Yeah.
Something. Instead of the grabbing. For sure, someone we will have in the job site with customer to interact with, but even like a manual work to bring the furnace or the air, like a condenser, we're gonna use like a motorized robot. We're gonna just pinpoint the place where should we bring the thing,
right? And
they will just put the right away.
And it's all automated.
And it's just like a connected, without welding and everything. It's gonna be just like I don't know, quick release connectors.
Right.
So that is my opinion. What's gonna happen?
There's no telling. I'm not sure. But I do know it's come pretty far from where I was before,
No, I understand.
And that's just 15 years.
We see a lot of ductwork, which are still exist with all asbestos from 60s, from 50s. They're still the customer is still using them.
Still being changed out. Yeah.
And there's still a lot of work even here in San Jose.
Right. Look at the ductless. There wasn't ductless back then when I got in the industry. Right
now, ductless is like a coming do-it-yourself kit.
Right.
And any customer can do that, but
which is scary. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so a lot of changes, right? Even in industry, in labor industry, because do you think a lot of competition came because immigrants came, or what do you think?
I think it got competitive because the economy started slowing down again. It was getting really good for 10 years, and then it started slowing down again. It was harder to sell the job. But I think a lot of contractors came into the Bay Area as well. Like back when I started, I feel like there was only 10 or less. And then there probably was more. But there's only like 10 key companies in the Bay Area. And then all of a sudden, such as Fuse and other companies started rising quickly.
Earbis.
Yes. Yeah, Airbus. There, I can name a few, but they got big quickly, like yourself. They came out of nowhere. It's like, who are these guys?
Just from border.
I know. Everybody, and then everyone that had been here for a while were like, that's weird. They just started like last year, and and they were like, everybody was like, who are these guys? Who is Fuse? Who is Airbus? Yeah. So, but I think the competition got more in the Bay Area. There is a lot of HVAC contractors here now.
No, the thing is, I all the time appreciate the competition because I can learn from them a lot.
I agree. I always liked competing back in the day. When I went up against service champions, I knew I was going to beat them
because of the price, right?
Because they don't. They're just much more expensive. But now, and even though they're more expensive, there are other companies. Everyone is around in the same ballpark. Yeah. And it all depends. Now everything depends on what their decision. The Yelp reviews, the Google reviews, the type of equipment, the efficiency. Now they're taking into account all the factors. You just can't go in there on a handshake and say, hey, nice to meet you. You're a referral. Yeah. It doesn't happen like that anymore.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But fortunately to someone who tried to make a business honest and they show like transparency with customers.
And that's what I really based American HVAC on. Honesty. I was the person that they were talking to. And so when they were talking to me, it was, oh, no problem. I usually could get the job. But as soon as I sent somebody else who I had to train, because then I had to clone myself. I had to clone another person to do things the way I wanted them to do it. And that was hard.
I believe it's all the time when you're running any businesses.
Yeah.
Because even you are gonna start, for example, the restaurant, you're gonna serve your customers much better than anyone.
Right.
You can train. But out there, a lot of talents who can do work better than you. And my perspective as a business owner, I'm trying to get better talents in my team who can do the work better than me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I always tried to hire people that knew more than me.
Yeah.
Right? And for the most part, I think I did that, but then I felt like they took advantage of me.
It's okay.
And in the long run, it became the downfall of American HVAC because I held on to these people too long. Maybe I didn't manage them though. I don't know. But in the long run, that's what hurt American HVAC, along with COVID. But yeah.
The first company I've seen in the HVAC industry, it was actually your company, because when I was rent the one place in duplex from my landlord, I asked him to fix the furnace because it didn't work. So he called the American HVAC company, and one guy came with van
Yeah.
with Eagle on the site, and I'm like, okay. And that was a first HVAC company I've seen, because that days I was fixing appliances.
How funny.
And I wasn't, I didn't realize what I'm even gonna go sometime in HVAC industry at all.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually, I will remember, it was 1.5. So I've been in the United States 1.5 years already. I was fixing some air conditioners in summertime, but most of the time I was fixing or maybe 1 year. 1.5. So I just moved to this duplex, and then the landlord just called the American HVAC, and I've seen the guy. I don't remember the name, but all the time will remember.
What year?
It was 2018.
Oh, right before COVID.
2017 to 2017. The end of 2017.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
2017.
So we had about at least 25 guys at that time. We had about probably 5 service techs. So I don't know, it could be any one of those. Yeah, we were at our growing time at that time. But isn't it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence now that I'm here?
No, I mean, it could be, it could be, I mean,
I know.
anyone, like from any companies.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because you was on Yelp or somewhere, I had no idea like what's going on. So
Yeah.
I was able maybe fix the furnace myself, but it was like a landlord property, and I didn't want to make a mess.
Right.
I think so. I just like called the guy,
Yeah.
fix it. He fixed it right away, and I'm like, okay, that sounds good. All right, so you're working right now for this company.
Yes.
All right, how did it happen?
It happened because American HVAC over the last couple of years, just we weren't doing good. We had negative numbers, and we got behind on loans during COVID. We had to take out loans during COVID before the grants came out. It took forever to get the PPP grants and the so-called money that was coming from the government. And we had to take loans out to help us get through, to keep guys busy, to get those grants. Long story short, it's been very hard. It was hard to pay those back. And they caught up with me, and then vendors, my vendors, I was getting behind with vendors. Long story short, the bank, I finally had to file bankruptcy. And as hard as that was for me, because it hurt my ego. My dad had a company, a construction company, very small. And I wanted to make my dad happy.
It's all the time. You can try to make someone happy.
I just wanted to show him that I could do it.
Yeah.
And then when the bank told me that I had to file bankruptcy, or I had no more choices because money got levied for loans, I had to do it. And I thought American HVAC was going to pull out for the Chapter 11, not a Chapter 7. And so for almost 3 years, we were in a Chapter 11, and we were going to get money back for ERC money, Employee Retention Credit, which were taxes paid during COVID that was revenue for the company before. But the bankruptcy court, we were going to get a lot of money back, almost $1 million, it was about 700 and something thousand. The bankruptcy court wasn't going to allow me to get that money back and consider it revenue. And so they were going to just consider it, yes, you can take that money back, but that money has to go to pay the debtors or the loans. And therefore my numbers were going to still be negative. And because they were going to be negative, he said, you have to file Chapter 7, which was really mind-boggling to me. And it was mind-boggling to the lawyers. I went through 3 lawyers. It was a terrible process. And it was not a process I would like to go through again. But long story short, the bankruptcy court wasn't going to allow me to use it as revenue, and so I had to file Chapter 7. At that point, I opened another company immediately just to survive, because I still had customers that wanted to use me, right? They wanted me. They didn't care about American HVAC. They liked what I did, and so we continued for about a month and a half, 2 months, and that's when I got an email from you or someone in your office that said, "Are you interested in selling your business?" And I wrote you an email, and I think you replied right away.
In terms of the factors which was brought you to this place, do you feel any way you will be able to manage to survive? Or, I mean, like for this moment, anyway, you fought a lot of things you can change in the past, because it's like in World War II, when the airplane came to the base, they was put more shield to the places which was punctured by the bullets.
I see.
But the thing is, it was still flying. So, and they put more shield to the places which was it didn't change it didn't fall.
Right.
So,
how would I protect it?
I mean, how do you protect it? Yes.
Right. If I were to do it again,
yes.
How would I protect it?
Yeah. This one I'm asking, your airplane actually crashed somewhere.
Yeah.
But for example, in somehow situation, you will be able to to get back your plane to the base. And what would you protect more in your airplane?
Right.
Like marketing, admin side, maybe financials, or what kind of things mostly corrupted the airplane?
The first thing that comes to mind is my dad. He always said, I know.
Is he alive?
Yes, he's alive. He's alive. But I can see him saying, keep your overhead down.
Yeah.
Keep your nugget. Your nugget was your overhead bills,
Yeah.
right? Your office, your trucks, your electricity bill. That's the first thing I think of is keep your overhead down. And my overhead got too much.
Yep.
It got too big because the office managers that I had taken care of, I didn't have enough revenue coming in for the office managers and their salaries, right? And something I tried to do was an incentive program based on commission for managers, service techs, and installers that I didn't know how to do and I couldn't do quick enough before the plane crashed.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why I really look up to what you're doing here. You ended up doing what I wanted to do. And it's that's where it was. It's my overhead. My overhead got too big. That's the first thing I can think of.
So, for example, we're living in most expensive area in the United States.
Yeah.
Where any guy who gonna came to the, from Florida, for example, he got there the salary about $6,000-7,000 doing the HVAC installer job, and he made maybe very well in Florida or maybe from the Texas.
Right.
But when he came here, and he saw what the rent is about, like at least $3,000 instead of the 1.5K per month.
Yeah.
And what, for example, the gas, twice expensive, or
Right.
maybe 2.5 times expensive. The food industry and everything else is just,
It's double.
30-40% more expensive than other places in the United States. I'm not talking about the places as New York or somewhere else.
No, yeah.
So, but it's like sometimes I'm getting idea why the other companies doesn't come to this expensive place where the average salaries are just close to the ceiling.
Because tell me if I'm wrong, but there are not very many big HVAC companies in this area.
Yeah.
Until us, whatever, Fuse. Right? I'm
not consider the Fuse Service the big company.
But
why?
Because they're in other areas.
Yeah.
70, 80, $100 million HVAC companies.
I know $250,000.
Yeah. So Texas, Arizona.
Yes.
They're humongous.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I went and
in Arizona, I know the company who made like $250,000 revenue.
Is it
I don't know. But I'm like.
But here,
nobody.
It's 50 million or less.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, and I've wondered that for many years. I think it's the people in the Bay Area because it's, this is where Apple is and Google is. Everybody's looking up everything. In other areas, they're just like, yes, give me some air conditioning now. Instead, here everyone is typing and trying to get. I don't know. That it's a different market.
It's like people just smarter here. And they're like checking everybody. They're collecting, gathering information about all contractors, and they are choosing the right person right away.
It seems like that, and that might not be true, but that's what it seemed to me. And me and my manager at the time, in 2018, 19, we're like, why? Why can't any HVAC business get big here in the Bay Area, like big?
Yeah.
Not even Serbian's Champions is that big here in San Jose.
Yeah.
They're
I don't know.
I don't think they're past 30. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I don't think they're bigger than Fuse.
I hope so. I don't know because I've seen these guys. I've seen them a lot on the roads, but in my opinion, they slower the activity in past 2 years.
Yeah.
For somehow. I don't know. Maybe two, 3 months ago, one girl in the Ford Escape was passing me my Cybertruck, and she was beeping me. I don't know why.
Why?
I'm okay. And she wasn't looks nice.
Yeah.
She was just bigger than average girl, but she was beeping me. I don't know. Maybe she wanted to cut me or something.
Maybe she wanted a job.
I don't know. So overhead.
That was what did it for me. The other thing that I didn't really take advantage of was marketing. They say when I was in business, they said marketing is supposed to be, I think the number was 15% of your total revenue? Is that, I don't know. Have you heard the same?
15-20%.
15 to 20%.
It's in the first 5 years of existing of company,
Okay,
I believe.
okay.
When the revenue is kind of low,
Uh-huh.
maybe like up to 100K per month, but it should take 20% at least.
Yeah, I was only doing, I think, 10 or less.
We actually did in Fuse Service the first 5 years about 4 to 6%.
Oh, wow.
And right now we're about close to 7%. In my opinion, it's anyway too much.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't say it, I agree with it, the 15 to 20%.
Because
That's just what they would say.
Yes, this is overhead as well.
Yeah.
And the most my complaints about our financial, for example, right now, we are paying too much money to our employees. Why? Because we're an amazing, wonderful San Jose area.
I know.
And because I've been talking with other people from different places in the different states in the United States, and their like funds from revenue to pay employees, it was like up to 30%. Our is about like a 50% or even more.
The gross
And-
profit per job is like 50-50, huh? GP, gross profit percentage.
Yeah, but there's other factors like, I mean, Material could be like, that's fine. Materials costs everywhere same, but the labor cost in this particular area is more expensive. Because, for example, the average installer in 2024, which we got here in in San Jose in Fuse Service, its average salary per month is about 14,500, and it's like about 160 average. And the most who did the most money in last year of our HVAC installers, 260.
That's more than I made.
260.
As I was an owner.
260K. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and when I was telling our installers making that much, the other people from the other states, they're like, I want to come to your company and start working for you, man, because you are like paying much more money than we're making.
It's the rent.
But when they come here,
Yeah.
they realize, oh my God,
Yeah, I gotta pay all this rent.
you pay that. I mean, you have to give me like pay much more money.
Right.
But the other guys who went to other states, for example, from California to Florida,
Yeah.
one guy came back and few guys came back to other states because they cannot afford to live the same lifestyle they lived here
In another state.
in another state.
Wow.
And when they taste the California,
Yeah.
and they go back, I mean, when they go somewhere else, they cannot, I mean,
It's not the same.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
They want to like get back because here's just a better life.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the taxes is California.
Yeah.
California is, I mean, yes, it's the Bay Area,
Yeah.
and the rent is high, but the taxes that
Absolutely
companies
right.
have to pay as well because it's California.
Tell me what, for example, you paid all your employees W-2.
Yeah.
As a licensed contractor, you follow all the rules.
Yep.
And everything. You paid your employer taxes. You paid like federal employer taxes and state employer taxes.
Yes.
Do you think if you will doing the same business somewhere else, you will be doing better, or
I've heard,
who knows?
I mean, Florida, you have a franchise in Florida, I think. In Florida, the taxes are so much less, if not.
It's zero.
Zero, right?
Yeah.
Arizona, I think.
No. The Nevada is zero.
Nevada is zero.
Texas zero. Oregon zero.
I mean, if I didn't have to pay all the taxes that I did from California, I might still be in business. I don't know. I mean, there was obviously other problems.
Yeah.
But that would have helped out a lot. You know, yeah, the taxes were ridiculous.
Tell me, so who worked for your company mostly? Like they are being immigrants, or they just like grow? I mean, born here and grow in the San Jose area. Who are they?
Like their descent, their background.
Yeah.
Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah. Okay.
Caucasian. I had a lot of white. I had a few Asian people over the years.
Who work better?
No.
Depend on person. right?
So, this is the first time in the last couple months that I've really worked with Russian descent, right? So far, I see more of an incentive from the Russian descent to go and do better, go and do more, where it seemed like the people, the white Caucasian people that I hired, they got lazy.
Oh, really?
They got lazy.
So I can put the American, not like white American people are lazy on title.
No, don't
No?
do that. Don't do that because I'm white.
Just to get more views on the video.
To get more reviews.
No, more views.
Yeah. It's just my experience, even the Spanish people, they would do great for a while, and then they got
Efficiency go
down. And I don't know, I haven't been here long enough to see how all, the Russian descent works.
I mean, they're doing the same. They are great in the beginning, then the efficiency go down, and then with just cutting the wrong branches in our tree or our plane,
Yes.
or cutting the wrong passengers in our airplane,
Well, then maybe-
and they are getting demotivated more.
But the difference between what Fuse is doing and what American didn't was you have incentives. I had some incentives for salespeople, but I didn't have incentives for the service techs and the installers. And so it's based on performance, right? I didn't know how to structure that, and I think that really hurt me because I didn't know how to give my installers and my service techs incentive to do better.
Have you been in a part or members of one of the greatest practices S10 or something different, round table clubs?
Oh, you mean in the HVAC world?
Or a Nexstar? Have you heard about
We were Nexstar.
Okay.
And we got coaching from Nexstar. Nexstar gave us a discount on Service Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were part of Nexstar for about 5 years.
Did it help?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Do you think why?
Because they said it cost too much. They didn't do anything, And maybe I wasn't utilizing them how I should have.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem to do anything for me, And when I would have trainers come out, I'd have to pay for it.
Everybody have to make
Well,
money.
it was a membership, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That was
Monthly payment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was part of BDR.
We've been too,
Yeah.
but we just call them maybe one time to our sales trainings, and that's it. But we've never been part of them.
They were more like no discounts. Never give a discount.
Yeah.
That's one thing about the Bay Area. They want discounts.
Because
They want to feel like they're getting.
Because these people.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just the immigrants, the different nationalities. That's where they come from, and they want a discount. But I've tried not giving discounts in the Bay Area. You just don't get the job. But BDR was like, never give discounts. And I didn't like some of their philosophies. It didn't work in this area.
I mean, it's all the time when I talking even with my franchisees and they are in different places. All markets in the United States is different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Florida works another way than Texas. Texas works another way than in California.
Right.
And middle of the nowhere in the United States works different. Or for example, some of the places they even never heard about any Yelp.
I know. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What's Yelp?
We saw you on Google
Yeah.
because you're just close to my home, 2 miles away. And we're like, okay. And when we tried to run the marketing on Yelp page in different places, it didn't work. We just waste the money. Okay, so you working in Fuse Service as who?
An estimator.
How long already? 1 month?
It hasn't even been 2 months.
Okay.
Like a month and a half.
What do you think? I mean, for you, it basically changed nothing, right? You've been selling HVAC systems
Yes.
before. You were doing the same.
Yes. I mean, there was a time where I sold them because it was the beginning of my company, and then I took a back seat and I had the sales guy sell them.
Yeah.
And then as my company was not doing so well, I had to go sell again.
Yeah.
And then, and now that I'm with Fuse, I'm selling. And I would say I wrote this one down.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. I would say the ability, what I like now is the ability, I want to make an impact without the stress of owning my own business. That's what I like now.
Yeah.
That's how it's been for the month and a half. I haven't had the stress of owning my own business with the overhead bills, whether employees are getting in accidents, if they're getting DUIs, if they're at the gas station making someone mad. Right now, I feel like I can focus on what I'm good at, and that's talking with people without the stress of owning my own business.
So the story about the closing American HVAC, it's already done.
Yeah.
It's like a final and done. No
done.
tails.
No. I still get calls from customers,
No, I understand that.
and then I just filter them through Fuse, but other than that, it is completely done.
The thing is about, so how long it took to you to close all, to cut everything from that point?
From the point they said the Chapter 7?
Yeah.
The day that they said Chapter 7 was in effect, it stopped. American HVAC stopped.
Okay. And
There's nothing I could do.
how long it was ago?
Oh, it was October 1st.
2024?
Yeah, October 1st.
But did you run before under Chapter 11?
Yeah, we were in a Chapter 11 for almost 2.5 years.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then...
But because for me, for example, like a Chapter 11, this is kind of the thing. It's like you are not under control of your company anymore.
Right.
Because all your revenue just goes somewhere.
Right.
Even it's like all the time when someone have a hand till here in your ass, right?
Yes.
And try and control you like a doll. So, and after October 1st, Chapter 7, you said, it's completely done.
Right. And it was kind of abrupt because I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought the lawyer went into that meeting and I was on the meeting, a Zoom call, and I thought we were going to get to keep the company because I thought they were going to give the ERC money to me as revenue, and they didn't. And for whatever the reason, the judge said, no, you got to close. We're not going to consider that money revenue, and therefore your numbers are negative. I said, oh, what? And so that day it closed. It shut down completely. Now it took me about a month because I had vehicles still. I had things that I had to give the court. So it took about a month after that to close everything down completely, I guess.
We still have your Yelp page. We still have a few things which had American HVAC. Let's get to the branding. Why did you call the company American HVAC?
I'm going back to my dad.
Yeah.
My dad was he was a man of justice, a man for America.
Okay. Patriot.
A patriot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm a patriot of the United States as well for 9 years already. When I just stepped from Los Angeles, in Los Angeles area.
And you know what? And that's great. It doesn't matter. It could be a patriot for 9 years. It could be a patriot for 50 years. Yet my dad was just a guy about the Constitution, right? And so I based the name off of something that I could remember my dad about. It was America.
Made in America.
America, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how American HVAC came about. And then the eagle, it was an eagle. I know some people thought it was just a bird.
No, it was eagle, yeah.
It was an eagle, and the eagle was, the bald eagle. So.
Yeah. Did you know all the Russians from my age? We were grown from the all-American culture.
No.
You didn't know that?
No, what do you mean?
When I was when USSR done in 1990.
Okay.
When it was I don't know, it's called perestroika. So they are rebuilding the whole country. They are lost a lot of republics, which, states, for example. For example, Texas went out from the United States.
I see.
That won't happen in 1990s.
In the USS.
In USSR, and it was went to the Russian Federation.
I see.
And a lot of countries was lost, Ukraine as well. A lot of different countries, it just came out from so borders were open and all capitalism saw came to the Russian Federation.
Oh, I see.
With movies, and I born in 1986. So when it was happened, I was just 4 years old. And I was just remember when we saw first Terminator, Rambo, and like a different, like Mortal Kombat, all the movies we were growing on all this American culture.
Yes.
Even like like a Dandy or Sega, the computer game.
Yes.
Yeah, it was all the time we just like we was like acting just all Americans here in the United States. We just did have like a different houses, maybe apartments or whatever, but everything was the same thing. Even like a GTA Grand Theft Auto, when we were playing this the game, when I came to the United States, I was feeling myself the hero of this game. And I was just doing the same things in the game. I was like doing missions, completing them, and getting reward. Yeah, so it was like that, like getting jobs, get mission done, get rewards. And a lot of people like that. But the thing is, I never thought I gonna work, because for me in Russia, if I will go to the air conditioning business or like just to do the installer job, for me it will be considered as a low paycheck job.
Really?
Yeah.
In USSR? Or
in Russia, in Russia, because
Okay.
right now it's just different country than before. It's like,
so HVAC doesn't pay too much in Russia.
no, it's like
But it's freezing.
it's freezing. There's if it's like a big building, we just have a central heating system. When you have a one building which does have the furnace, which you put the coal. And it's like a burning and bringing heat to the house. Even the building didn't have any air conditioning these days. But right now it's like all the time it's flooded with air conditioning from China.
Oh, okay.
And for people who makes any money there in air conditioning business, if they are just doing for themselves, they are not making much money as here. And this why they were desired to come here to work for any company here in the United States.
I see.
Because they thought it's a lot of money.
Right.
But when they came to a particular place, they found it's like it's not much too, but much better than in Russia.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the bankruptcy of your company impacted you personally and professionally, took your ego down, or how it's called.
Right.
But your company was corporation, right?
Yeah, it was an S corp.
You all the time knew what something gonna happen with your company. Even like a file from any employee can get down your company, like it can just crack immediately. It's all the time the risk there.
Right, anywhere, right?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Just like from employee,
Right.
from financial things.
Right.
And all the time it's like a pressure. Because, for example, we had some issue, we still have some issues with financials in few service, but I'm like, it's okay. I'm like just a separate guy. I'm still healthy. I'm still fine.
Right.
I can laugh, I can run, I can eat, whatever. Yes, maybe not decent as I did before, for example, when I was like working for the whole working company. But it can be rebuilt because the knowledge already set in your head. It's already like you cannot like swipe your experience.
True.
You cannot swipe your skills.
Right.
And all the time when I'm talking about like plans, about the investments, the best way to put your investments into your head, even not your kids or your family.
Right.
Just like pump your skills, and you will not be able to like just fall down.
Right.
So in terms of this thing happening to you, did you had any therapists to go through all the things, or it's just like it was okay to you, or how do you feel about it?
What happened to American HVAC?
No, especially to you, not the company.
Okay. No, I've done a lot of soul searching. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
And I've gone to some spiritual places in the last couple of years, and some where I.
What kind of spiritual places?
I went to India.
Okay. Goa.
Temples.
Okay.
It's Kalahasti, Tirupati, and just to learn about cultures and God.
Okay.
And in the last 3 years, I really did some soul searching with God, and what that meant for me. as a result of what was going on in American HVAC, it really, I had to turn some things around in my head and get right with whatever happened in my life. And for me, that was, seeking God. And I don't mean to get spiritual in this interview.
That's okay, totally fine, yeah.
But that for me really kept me, it kept my family, it kept my marriage, because things were going a little crazy in my life, along with my company. And it got bad for me, and I had to bring it back together and go back to God. And so that really kept me grounded. Does that answer the question? Yeah.
So it's like, because it's like being with someone for 14 years, because I read the book, when you're creating the company, you're creating the entity. It's called entity. It's like a non-livable persona. You are investing your time, money, like family, right? Or like a baby.
Yeah.
And when you are losing someone who is like a 14 years old, and I'm like, it's like really, I mean,
that's exactly what you said.
You like lost the baby.
I lost a child. Exactly. That's a good analogy, because I spent a lot of time in the first 10 years growing that baby. Right?
Because if as I told you, like, if someone gonna put his hand to my ass and try to manage me, it's like I will feel discomfort with all my body.
Right. And so my world was closing in on me, from my family, from my kids and my company, and I did some things that I wasn't happy with. And so I had to get right with God again as a result of what happened to the company. I was losing my marriage. I was losing my family, because I was spending so much time on my company.
Exactly.
And I didn't know how to balance anything, and I had to relearn that. Because it's hard, as probably it's hard to balance.
I mean, it's like I, for example, lost my marriage with my wife, and we've been through all the things for 9 years, and it's like the same thing, in my opinion. And I went through many sessions with therapist, and she helped me to go through all the things.
Yes.
And this is why I'm just asking that feelings, and I'm I have a co-feeling as you do with same situation, and I don't know which is worse or better. It's hard to say. And
well, I understand what you're saying, but yes, I had many therapists. What finally worked was church, God, and getting spiritual with myself, and in putting the company aside and just working on myself with God helped everything. And I believe that's why I'm here. I got my marriage back.
Okay.
And I think my kids love me again.
You hope.
Yes.
Do you plan to start a new business in the future, or will you fully focus on the new role?
No more business. So this is what I wrote. I'm fully focusing on this role.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the opportunity that I've been given here, because I want to produce without the stress of having my own business. I also, Fuse has done everything that I always wanted to do. You figured out the incentive program, even though we're in the Bay Area and it's expensive, I'm sure it is, but you figured that part out. And so there's already a structure here, and now how can I help? That's I am not focusing on another company whatsoever right now.
You said you said previously you're making less than 240K per month, per year. I was recording yesterday the video how much money makes our sales rep in the statistic from the last year. The most figures was 330K, and the lowest was 240 and average 275. Is this more than enough for the sales rep, or could be better?
My sales rep were making more than me
in
American. I probably gave myself less so that my company could you know, and I shouldn't have done that.
It's like it's like in a relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
With anyone,
Right.
Even with your kid, with your company, with
Right.
any entity, like any person, like you're giving that much, and she just give you like a small massage,
Right.
like,
Right.
and this is most thing. It's like when I put all like last 3-4 years in my plans for every year, I put one plan thing to put my interest much higher than others.
Yeah.
And all the time remember about it. Because before I didn't focus on this thing.
Right.
And I did like absolutely the same things as you did, like with your company. You paid like much more money to your employees than yourself.
Right.
And when this happened to a business owner, actually, I've learned you like just losing the interest.
Yeah.
Or like, as you said, someone just taking the control under your company.
Right.
And then someone like taking the advantage and like putting the hand.
Right.
So, and it's like, I don't know.
I don't know either, because I hear that sales guys a lot of times make good money, especially here in the Bay Area, for other companies too.
Yeah.
But in some cases they don't make as much as the owner, and in other cases they do. So I don't know. I mean, but they're incentive based, right? So I don't, as long as I see, you know what, my sales guys got salary. I would give them a small salary plus commission.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What was I doing? I would get rid of the salary now and just give them commission, so they'd have to work harder.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's what I have to do now.
I would like to make a summary. The thing, all I've heard, and in my opinion, no depend on what you're doing and what you did. If you have desire and it push you forward in your life, that's what we exactly call like the process. And you have to just enjoy the process, which I'm doing all the time. Even we're doing some like crazy things without considering the financial things in the company, but we wanted to get there, and we may have to like just borrow some money from other places. But the process itself, with all depression, with all the things you don't want it to get through, went through. But I mean, I'm trying to keep myself all the time positive.
Right.
And this is another like a role in my plan for every last 3-4 years. If something gonna wrong, be positive.
Right.
Like don't fucking care.
Right.
It's okay. You failed this thing, but you're still alive.
Right.
And just be focused on yourself. Keep your health fine. Because I learned recently the other thing. You can have 1,000 problems. When you have trouble with your health, you just have one issue.
True.
Yeah, so this is why it's better to have 1,000 troubles with all the things going on around you.
And be happy.
And be happy instead to have just one trouble.
I don't know.
Spirit. All right. Thank you for watching this video. Your last words in this video for the guys.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much, Quinn.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the interview. And I'll see you in the next one, the video, or maybe somewhere here. Where?
View service?
Here you go. All right.
Sorry.